What up? What up? It's your boy Tez, and this is the What's Left to Say podcast. Hope you guys are having a beautiful and blessed weekend. I'm shooting this on a Sunday, and I guess I'm feeling real, kind of having sinus issues, and just really don't feel like doing shit. But knowing you have to get up and kind of be active and productive for the day, which is kind of is a very big big thing for me and just being consistent with providing you guys with content. But anyway, I'm gonna get into it because it's not like one of my weekly I'm gonna be shooting like weekly episodes, so it's not one of my weekly episodes. This is very topic specific, and I'm gonna go ahead and just delve into the topic. It's about drill rap. I don't know if a lot of you guys are aware of the origins. I know the younger generation of like hip hop fans, guys in their 20s, guys and girls in their 20s and 20s, and some going into their 30s are more aware of it, and below that. But anyway, to give you guys kind of like a history lesson, so to speak, of drill rap. I heard about this, and I'm gonna look it up so I don't get anything wrong necessarily, because I don't want any drill rappers, coming at me like, yo, dude, you didn't talk about the history of drill rap. So I'm gonna actually look it up. Um, but anyway, I know, of course, it comes from Chicago, um, and let's see. I'm going to just get on Wikipedia. Not saying that's the most like resource sufficient um, source of information, but it'll give you kind of like a rundown of different things. Um, anyway, okay. Um, drill rap is something I kind of listened to, but it was super violent and super, aggressive. And some of that I enjoyed, some of it I thought was excessive and would kind of, in my, from my perspective, kind of get to where it is now. And we have so many different, rappers talking about doing violent shit, to each other and to like other gang members. Like you have a situation in Chicago, and now you have a situation in New York where you have like either people in different gangs or different drill rappers coming at different people, and talking about what they're gonna do and smoking on the op pack and all that stuff. And it got very it got very dangerous. And I'm not gonna get into specific beefs, none of that. That's not my area of expertise. I don't know anybody personally, but I will say, uh, when I first heard it, it was dope. I thought it was super dope. But then when I started getting more familiar with the culture of it, it worried me. Like I said, I felt like it could, spiral into kind of what it is now. And some artists that I did enjoy were Lil Bibby, who of course ended up being the manager of Juice World, R.I.P. I think he has another artist now. He doesn't really rap anymore. He's very like doing his CEO manager thing. King Louis was cool. G Herbo, somebody that that has grown a lot as far as his artistry, and I enjoy listening to G Herbo. Um, Young Chop is a producer. Fredo Santana, R.I.P. Didn't listen to a lot of his music, but I heard he was pretty dope. Lil Reese, didn't really listen to a lot of his music. Lil Durk is okay, not necessarily my my cup of tea. Chief Keef, um, he had a couple songs that I really enjoyed, and I liked Everybody Loves Sosa, Rari's and Rover, yeah, I like that. And then you what you don't like me or whatever. But I know Kanye redid the song, and it was a pretty good song. Um, then okay, it's talking about like drill rap going into different areas like the UK drill, and then drill rap was kind of influenced by trap rap. because trap rap was kind of aggressive, and then is like more, like low key. I'm not going to say low key, but like 808s, but like more based in like talking about, trap and hustling, selling drugs. Drill rap was more based in aggressiveness and talking about like killing people, which is a lot more scary, and it could lead to a lot more bad things happening, so to speak, versus like talking about selling drugs. You can get yourself caught if you talk about that and you're really doing it, but talking about killing people when you're really killing people is not only problematic as far as like you harming somebody else in a way where they can't come back from it. You're putting yourself out there where you could go to prison for the rest of your life. So I think having that theme in your music is very, no, any way you look at it is very worrisome, and I don't think anything really good can come out of you perpetuating music specifically talking about that all the time, and like talking about smoking an op pack and talking about different rappers that have like died, and talking about their family, and et cetera, et cetera. That's dangerous like territory to like put yourself in. So I'm gonna go over like different things that have happened that have led to I think last night there was a meeting between the New York mayor and a bunch of drill rappers. Now I don't know the names of the drill rappers. I know Mano was kind of like the liaison, so to speak, to these rappers meeting with the mayor. And let me just be honest about that, because that is incredible on Mano's part, because I remember when Mano was like just the guy that was just like came off like the bully in New York. Like him and Jim Jones kind of came off like that, kind of bullying like other rappers or artists or people in New York. And both of them have grown a lot. But I definitely feel like I'll say both of them grown a lot. I can't say Mano grew more than Jim Jones or Jim Jones grew more than Mano, but I think they both grew a lot, and it's incredible and it's beautiful to see. Um, somebody from where he came from, and he went to prison. If you know his story, he went to prison, I think 8 or 9 years, something like that. He got out, he got into hip hop, but he was still, running wild and doing crazy shit, slapping people, punching people, different shit like that. Which has been well documented. I'm not snitching on anybody. I don't feel like hearing, oh, you're snitching, you're talking about he is on record of saying that, he did et cetera, or somebody that got slapped by him said he did et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not gonna get into that. But it's cool to see Mano change his life around and being productive. Anyway, they had like a meeting, and it's supposed to lead to some type of partnership between the city and these drill rappers. But how did we get to this point? You had a lot of there was a lot of popularity from Chicago drill rap, and then Chicago drill rap turned into, I guess migrated, or the energy of it. A lot of New York rappers and youth could relate to it. So I guess they took on, that scene. And you had rappers like R.I.P. Pop Smoke. You had I don't know if I consider I don't think 504 is a drill rapper. I don't know. I'm put in put in the comment section if some of you young folks, if y'all know if 504 is a drill rapper. Can you tell an old man like me? Anyway, yeah, just put in the comment section if 504 is a drill rapper. I might just look it up for real, but I'm just curious. Um, yeah, and you have like that's all I know for real. But you have Pop Smoke, and you have countless other drill rappers out there that were putting out music that was like perpetuating killing people. Pop Smoke wasn't saying names, so I can't say he was like pushing the content as like problematically as other rappers are, because there's certain rappers that like said names. They said like specifically, we're smoking on the op pack, we're smoking on such and such pack, all that, the people that are, you know, dead. So I think that is, you know, that's crazy, and that's very problematic and very you know, I don't think anything good can come from it. Um honestly. And anyway, you you have you know, I guess it's gotten to a peak in New York City, where you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, we have to do something about drill rap, and we got to censor it on some level if it's discussing like specific gangs and specific people that, you know, maybe that artist wants to target or, you know, do something to. So, you know, you have certain DJs that aren't playing drill rap if it's mentioning, like I said, gangs or specific people. And then you have the mayor. He's, you know, kind of been outspoken about trying to censor um, drill rap that specifically talks about like what I just named on YouTube, like the videos on YouTube. So, you know, that's kind of the state of affairs when it comes to drill rap in New York. How do I feel about it? Like I'm all for, like I said before, like I don't think that's, you know, people putting deceased people in their music and talking about we're smoking on a such and such pack, or talking about killing somebody specifically in their music. I don't think I don't agree with that, and I do think that it should be censored. I'm being honest, and I'm a person that believes in the First Amendment. I'm a person that believes in your right to express yourself in many forms. But when you specifically talk about harming or killing another person or a group of people, that's crossing the line. And I do think there has to be some type of remedy and censorship of that. And I don't think, even and with that said, even if you get rid of all the drill rap that talks about that, you still have the issue, the social issues of the social economic issues of, you know, poverty in inner cities, that a lot of these drill rappers come from, and just, you know, youth in the youth of hip hop. That's why you always have content like, you know, like you have it, because the content that you have in hip hop specifically, that's why you have it, because you have a lot of these young people, mostly black or Latino, but, you know, since the genre was created from mostly black people, you know, I would just say specifically black people. You have young black people that are growing up in inner city communities, and they're talking about what they see. They're talking about the the drugs. They're talking about, you know, women, sometimes in positive ways and sometimes in derogatory ways. And, you know, the derogatory ways have been the most um, publicized, because it's kind of what's, you know, what gets the attention of the public. They talk about, you know, the messed up educational system, police brutality, um, you know, discrimination on certain levels. Um, so that's why you have that content. And I think that, um, you know, the violence, whether you want to call it proximity, black on black, whatever, the violence is some of that. Um, you know, some of the realities of a lot of our communities, and we have to get to solving, you know, those issues, everything from violence to education to the lack of jobs. We have to solve those issues before we think that hip hop is going to, or a lot of hip hop, or, you know, a good amount of hip hop is going to like evolve. So I feel like that, you know, we can't expect the artistry to evolve um, before we expect the conditions that created these artists to evolve. And then and then let's look at the people promoting this, whether it's record labels, or whether it's um, the radio or YouTube, the YouTube, not necessarily YouTube, but like social media. That's what I mean. I'm not going to specifically say YouTube, but social media. What is social media perpetuating or promoting? Are they promoting things that speak on that speak on like other groups killing themselves? They're not. They're not speaking on like white people killing themselves or Latino people or uh, other groups killing themselves. They're promoting and allowing young black people, specifically young black men, to you know talk about these topics of smoking on the op pack and all that shit. And it's part of their business and part of like how they're getting their ads across, because we're clicking on it. Us as the consumer, us as black people, or the white audience or Latino audience, or et cetera, et cetera. We as the consumer are clicking on such and such talking about smoking on the pack. And if it's underground cats, it's specifically black people that are clicking on this type of material. So I'm not going to like just say the accountability is on the artist. The accountability is down the whole chain of consumer to artist, like, and everything in between. So we got to do better as far as what kind of music we listen to and what we gravitate towards as far as like what we're consuming. Because I'll say what, let's see, it's 2022, 2012, 2012, 2002, 1992, 30, I'll say 30, maybe 30 some years ago. You had and not even 30 some years ago, because it was more balanced. You saw like a more of a balance in the mainstream. You had artists like the Tupacs, the Brand Nubians, if you look these guys up, if you don't, or if you're not familiar with the Queen Latifahs, MC Lights, the KRS-Ones, the um I think NWA was just breaking up with Ice Cube. Um, I don't know if Wu-Tang was out. Uh, you had Outkast. I want to say you had UGK, but you had like so many different types of uh, artists in hip hop at the time, um, and you had artists that were, some of them were gangster. You definitely had some gangster rappers out there, like Snoop. Yeah, I forgot Snoop. But you had some gangster rappers out there, but you also had the balance of like having the rappers that would teach you something, like the KRS-Ones I mentioned, Brand Nubian, uh, who else? Rakim. So you had people that would say, okay, this is this is the harsh reality of society, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm shooting at the ops and doing different shit like that. But then you also had the balance of, okay, that might be the reality, but okay, you should enlighten yourself. You should read books. You should be familiar with Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass, and these black figures in history. You should strive to be better than what you are and your conditions, et cetera, et cetera. If you come from like an impoverished community, you should you should rise above your conditions and try to better yourself and try to be goal oriented and so on and so forth. And there's not a balance in mainstream rap anymore. It's just like sex, violence, money, cars, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that we as the consumer, because the powers that be, just like anything else, the powers that be, sorry about that alarm, But yeah, just like anything else, the powers that be aren't going to like give us another Rakim or KRS One. I mean, you got Cole, you got Kendrick. Who else is talking about positive shit? You got other artists talking about positive shit. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But yeah, you have artists talking about that, but it's just so like uh the 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 scene in rap is so one sided, even with like you could stream and do different stuff, that you can't really it's there's no gatekeepers anymore, so to speak, but there are people that get on radio that are um that are being pushed by a machine, some type of machine. So that's the issue. uh what else? And I think a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with like us not having our OGs not stepping in. Like some of the rap OGs, I'm gonna be honest, some of the rap OGs. That's why I liked how Mano kind of I guess he was, like I said, he was like a conduit for that whole meeting between the mayor and the drill rappers. But I think he's one of the exceptions. I don't think you have enough OGs in the game um, that are like going out of their way to specifically talk to the newer class of rappers and saying, hey, I see what you're doing. You're doing great stuff. Or on the other hand, being like, yo, excuse me. On the other hand, being like, yo, hey man, you talking about smoking on Op Pack and doing different stuff like that, bro. You're gonna wind up in prison, or you're gonna wind up. There's gonna be negative energy that comes towards you because you're talking about all this violent, negative shit, and there's gonna be somebody that's gonna come and see you in your community. You always talking about, yo, I'm in the hood, I'm in such and such hood. You're gonna have somebody that's gonna run up on you and say, all right, what you been talking? All right, yeah, I got that thing on me. Yes. Like, what you been talking about, bro? Like, you're gonna have situations like that. So, I'm just here to give you some game and to tell you that, you need to slow down and rethink how you're approaching making music, because what you're doing is very short term to make money, when, you could be thinking long term and have a career off of, rap. And I think you don't have enough OGs that are, making the decision to talk to different, rappers out there. Um, but it's very music is so subjective, and what people like is subjective. But I just think that I hate to sound like the old head, but it is different times. Um, Music seems more about, it was been like this for years. Like it was like that, when I was in high school. So I can't say music seems more trendy, but music seems more like, it's almost like they tried to bleed like the the minimal substance that was in it before, and they're just like, yo, we just gotta go with hits. We gotta go with hits. We can't be bringing deep shit into the into the forefront, because it's not gonna get us paid. So I feel like a lot of late what I can't say labels, but a lot of radio stations and a lot of places that like present music, they're they're not presenting the best or the cream of the crop, so to speak. So I think that's why you have a lot of like same sounding music and ultra violent music and stuff, and that's what's becoming popular. And I think people need to like be cognizant of how we're being programmed. We're being programmed because, like I said before, a lot of other groups aren't putting out music that's talking about killing people in their community. That music exists. It's just not being promoted like black music's being promoted, talking about killing other black people. So I think we have to be very mindful of how we're being programmed. We're being programmed to enjoy, and we've been programmed to enjoy music that talks about killing black people. Um, Just like we've been programmed to enjoy music that talks about degrading black women. And I might go into that later on, how problematic that is, because it's very problematic. Um, but we have to be very cognizant of what we're putting in our minds, what we're putting in our bodies, and then also what we're putting in our spirit. And I just think that uh, the direction of, like I said before, the direction of people talking about, you gotta, like, let's be real clear on this. We're talking about music that's promoting people specifically talking about killing other people, like individuals. We're not talking about like this this imaginary opponent, like, yo, I'm like you had back in the day, like, I'm nicer than such and such, and I'll murder him, I'll murder MC. Da, 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 da. We're not talking about on some metaphorical, you know, what do you call it? I forgot what Eminem was talking about, like when he was saying the it was like the quintessential just lyrical miracle type shit. Like that's what I was looking for, lyrical miracle type shit. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about people specifically talking about killing specific individuals in their music, or smoking on a op pack and insert a specific person that was killed. We're talking about shit like that. That is dangerous, and I do think that should be censored. Which I've said. I've said that several times in this video. But yeah, without rambling on too much, those are my views when it comes to drill rap, or the issue of, like, the hyper violence that that's a topic in some drill rap music that's leading to violence. That's what I'm speaking more to. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, comment, subscribe, comment, give me some feedback. That's it. Yo, holla at your boy.